Well, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this WALB News Now segment. I'm Quinlan Parker, and we're coming to bring you some news, the passing of the Army hero and Tifton native, Colonel Ralph Puckett, who passed away on Monday. And so we just want to give you a little background information about who Colonel Puckett was and the ties he had here to South Georgia and across the Peach State as well. And so I want to take you to some video now. This is from our sister station out of Columbus, WTVM. And so just to give you some background information on Ralph Puckett, Colonel Ralph Puckett, that is, he died Monday morning. That's according to the National Infantry Museum. He received many high honors for his time in the U.S. Army, including the National Medal of Honor. And these are just some file videos, some pictures there of Colonel Puckett. He was actually, this is a fun fact here, the last surviving Medal of Honor recipient from the Korean War. Now, the National Infantry Museum says that Colonel Puckett died peacefully in his sleep with his wife, Janine, by his side. Puckett, he was in active duty for 22 years and received multiple awards. We'll get to that here in just a couple of moments, including 5 Purple Hearts and 2 Distinguished Service Crosses. He was presented, of course, with that Medal of Honor in May of 2021 as well. And so, again, he was 97 years old. He passed away on Monday. He was an icon from Fort Moore. As you can imagine, many are just heartbroken and they are just saddened by the loss of the Tifton native, who many say embodied the soldiers and Rangers creed. We want to actually get to this story from Gray TV's Gabriella Johnson, who spoke with staff from the National Infantry Museum Foundation, a place where Colonel Puckett served faithfully on the National Advisory Board. Let's take you to that story now.
Where to begin when talking about the life of Colonel Puckett?
Korean War veteran, Presidential Medal of Honor recipient, and longtime Columbus resident Colonel Ralph Puckett Jr. died Monday morning in his home with his wife Jeannie by his side. Here's the Colonel speaking about his wife in 2015.
How much I've depended on my wife and family for supporting me along the way. Without her, I wouldn't have made it. She's the wind beneath my wings.
Ralph Puckett is kind of synonymous with the National Infantry Museum.
The National Infantry Museum's Director of Marketing, Janet Daly, says Puckett and his wife were always at the NIM, helping to some capacity, even watching young soldiers make it to the next level.
It wasn't that long ago, and he was coming to the graduation, and we let all the soldiers know that, you know, he's not going to be able to shake your hand. He'll be present, but, you know, give him some space. As those soldiers graduated, he got up out of his wheelchair and he shook every single one of those soldiers' hands.
Daly says Puckett was humble and focused on connecting to the everyday soldier.
His awards list and his, medals and badges and honors it's so long. There's so many things, but he was so humble and so ready and willing to connect with the everyday soldier. It didn't matter what rank they were, where they came from, or anything. He wanted to shake their hand. He wanted to get to know them. You know, he was so humble. He led from the front. He would do so much for everyone around him.
Yeah, just an amazing story there that you heard from the National Infantry Museum there. Again, he served there faithfully. And not only has he, been awarded nationally, but there have been actually some local accolades and acknowledgments towards Colonel Puckett. And I actually want to kind of show you that as well here. But first, let's go to some condolences, I believe, that have been pouring in as well from many across the state, including the Columbus mayor, who commented on the passing of Colonel Ralph Puckett. He says, quote, "He was one of our country's most decorated veterans, but was known for his humility and selfless service. He was a mentor to generations of soldiers passing through Fort Benning, which is now known as Fort Moore." Again, that was from the Columbus mayor. We also received a statement here from Fort Moore saying in part, "We mourn the loss of a great warrior, a tremendous leader of a character, and an icon of the greater Fort Moore community and U.S. Army. Colonel Ralph Puckett, Medal of Honor recipient and renowned Army Ranger, exemplified the Ranger creed, demonstrating bravery under fire, always leading from the front, building e-spirit, decor, and living a life committed to excellence." And so, again, those condolences, everything they're just pouring through now for the colonel. Again, he passed away on Monday with his wife by his side. And I do want to take you now to back here closer to home, where Colonel Puckett was honored actually in May of 2021, if I'm not mistaken, or it may have been July 1st. It is July 1st, 2022. Tifton city leaders, you see there, signed a proclamation making it Colonel Ralph Puckett Day. Again, he served in the Korean War and Vietnam War with the U.S. Army Rangers for over 50 years. And so he was awarded the 2021 Congressional Medal of Honor, as we just told you. And again, we're getting to those accolades in just a moment. During that event, we weren't able to actually hear from Colonel Puckett himself, and that was due to his age and then his health conditions. So he wrote a letter actually acknowledging his recognition, and it was actually read by his son. So let's take a look at that now.
The reason today is so special to me is because Tifton is my home. I thank each of you for making this special occasion more special than I could ever imagine for me and my family. Thank you so much for this honor. I am deeply touched. God bless you, and God bless this beautiful country in which we are privileged to live. Thank you.
So there again, now we want to actually go to some of those accolades and honors by Colonel Puckett, and we've got a list of them here, and this is just to name a few. We have the Medal of Honor, Distinguished Service Cross, 2 silver stars, 3 Legions of Merit, 2 Bronze Stars with V device for Valor, 5 Purple Hearts, 10 Air Medals, and a World War II Victory Medal. And so you quite imagine this is just like I said, a well-decorated Army veteran here. And of course, he will be sorely missed. And again, just those memories, precious memories that the family is gleaning to, as well as the community. We do want to let you know now about funeral arrangements and memorial services that will be happening for Colonel Puckett. The celebration of life will take place at the National Museum on Saturday, April 20th at 11 a.m. That's in Columbus. And then there will be a private ceremony burial at Park Hill Cemetery, also located in Columbus. A reason why we're saying Columbus so much is because he actually lived in Columbus since 1990 with his wife of over 71 years. And so, again, those are when those funeral services will be held for Colonel Puckett. And so, of course, we'll continue to have continuing coverage of this throughout the day. And of course, I'll have the latest coming up tonight at 5 and 6. But just wanted to bring you this story. Again, this well-decorated Army hero, Tifton native, was very active in Columbus. But again, we'll have more reaction as well from some of our state leaders. That's coming up tonight on WALB News 10 at 5. Then we're looking forward to you joining us then. Well, thank you for joining us for this WALB News Now segment. I'm Quinlan Parker. Continue to have a great day.